Guys, how's it going? Welcome back to the Kiwi Lads channel. We are back for another match of the Rugby League World Cup. We're running a little bit behind. Technical difficulties meant that we were starting a couple matches or a couple minutes late, but luckily the match has not got underway yet. The two sides are just taking part in the pre-match, I guess you could say pre-match rituals, I guess we could call it, but this game is going to be absolutely awesome seeing these two sides in action. Tonga, they want to get themselves the win here. I believe the Cook Islands, this is a do-or-die game for them. To put the pressure on Papua New Guinea, they need to make sure they get themselves the win here, and they've got a strong lineup to try and do so. And sorry, I commented on the wrong stream. Don't mind the 2 hours. Come on, France, streaming it starting now. So here's a Richard and there as well, but this is going to be an epic matchup between Tonga and the Cook Islands, both sides full of passion. The Tongans so far throughout their Rugby League World Cup, though, they are undefeated. They are looking to continue that winning streak. This is the way that the table sits. As you can see, 2 from 2 wins for the Tongans, the only team in this group to have all of that perfect victory, and they will be looking to continue that momentum throughout this fixture. And like I mentioned, they've got a very strong side to be able to do so. Looking through at their starting lineup for this matchup, it is going to be Nui, Tupo, Pinisini, Suli, Katoa again, and Lolo here as the backs. Then for the forwards, Fanua Blake, Luke, Fotuaika, also Kalfusi, Kalamatangi, and Tomalolo is now in the starting lineup. He is a player who is certainly one that the Tongans are glad to have back, and he will bring a real impact into this matchup when he does get his opportunity. Then for the Cook Islands, they have also got a strong side. Iro Ulberg, Masters, Daniela Masters. Again, that is Stephen Masters. He was terrific in the last game. Takai Rangi and Jonathan Ford will be the last man in that backline. Then for the forwards, it is Makatoa, Te Roy, Mairoa. Also, it will be Peiru, Piakura, and Titivano as the last man in that Cook Islands starting lineup. But it's going to be an entertaining game. That is why South Africa may beat India in the cricket. Yeah, it looks like they're going all right at the moment. So hopefully they can continue building that momentum and possibly get themselves a big upset win there for the South Africans. And also we get their Tonga by 40, says Richard. It's a bold prediction, but it could certainly happen in this game. We know how dangerous Tonga can be. And if they can get it right, they will certainly be able to reap the rewards and make their way through to their quarterfinal fixture, where they will find themselves going head-to-head with none other than maybe Samoa. That's going to be a massive game if that is the way that it sets up. What we are quickly going to do, though, we're going to change our background. It seems a little bit dark. There we go. We'll go to a slightly lighter background for this matchup, as it is going to be a very fast-paced, exciting fixture between the two sides. I've actually got it on my phone that I am watching it. Due to the technical difficulties on my PC continuing to crash, it does mean that I do have to go with a different tactic of watching the game. So I have got it on the phone, but we can still see it. We can hear the commentary, and we will be providing the play-by-play for all of you lovely individuals watching. But I should mention happy Halloween to anyone who it is now in the 31st of October for. We were dressed as Santa for the last live stream. We are now just dressed, I guess, as a businessman, I guess you call it. It's kind of a bit of a weird attire for ourselves in New Zealand next year. Do you think Geordie Barrett will start at the World Cup? It's a good question. I hope Will Jordan continues to get opportunities for the Kiwis, though, as that would be a very exciting future for New Zealand rugby if Will Jordan is a part of it. But I think there's going to be an exciting future for Tonga now with Tomalolo in the starting lineup. He has been missing for the last little while. That was due to the suspension, I believe, that he got for himself as France, or if France beat Samoa out. They are indeed. So that is why they definitely need to get themselves a win. But the Cook Islands will be kicking off this one. It's going to be taken nicely by Tonga. And it is Lolo here who gets the first carry of this contest. And let's go to Tonga and the Cook Islands from Nate there. And good luck, both Dean, says Nate in the chat as well. But now going to be in the hands of Tonga. They will get themselves the first set of the day. The scoreboard is not on the field on the screen as of yet, but we will have to keep count of the tackles ourselves. We have got the Avika in the chat, or Vika. Hopefully I've said that correctly, and hope you are doing very well, mate. Do let me know your score prediction for this matchup. It's going to be Tonga once again, giving it off to Jason Tomalolo, his first carry of the Rugby League World Cup. It is great to see him out there now. It is going to be Katoa. Goes back across. Good sell of the dummy. Katoa straight through. All he needs is to find the pass on the outside. Gives it to Daniel Tupou, and that will be the first try of the match already for the Tongans. That is how you start a match. They have done brilliantly there, Tonga. and it was the run from Katoa. He just saw the gap. Isaiah Katoa, believe he had his debut last week and is already starting to slot in as maybe one of those starters for Tonga in the near future. And for a little while, do you rate Marks as better than your best New Zealand hooker at the moment? Says Cameron Milner. It's a tough one because very different styles. Comparing Malcolm Marks and comparing Samisoni Tokiaho is like comparing Brody Retallick and Eben Etzebeth. Two very different styles of play from the two individuals. But you have to say Malcolm Marks, I mean, line out accuracy-wise, he's got the edge. Running game-wise, you'd almost have to give it to Tokiaho. Breakdown-wise, you give it to Malcolm Marks. And then also, in terms of, there's benefits of both guys. So I feel like comparing the two of them is very tricky to do at the moment. And now, Daniel Tupou, though, already scoring the first try of the match for the Tongans. That will hopefully update on our scoreboard relatively soon. A nice Tonga, says Nate there. But yeah, brilliant start to the match. Now it is going to be the youngster who helps set up that move, Isaiah Katoa. Going to be lining up this kick from about 45 meters out on the angle. Not exactly the easiest kick to have for our first one. And make that 60 or 70, 40 to low with such a fast try, says Richard. Yeah, the Cook Islands, they were caught napping a little bit there, but it was just that brilliant line break from Isaiah Katoa. He actually got the offload initially from, I believe it was Tomalolo. That kick is missed out to the left-hand side, but that is going to make the score now 4-0 in favour of the Tongans. Brilliant start to the match, though, for them, and they will be looking to continue building that as well. It's just a good seller, a dummy. Isaiah managed to see that gap. It opened up beautifully, and then from there, just did very well indeed to get that ball off to Daniel Tupou on the outside. Should mention this is the first of 2 Rugby League World Cup games that we are going to be covering on the channel today, ladies and gentlemen. The next one that we are doing, it will be the matchup taking place between Samoa and France. So that will be a very awesome fixture when it does take place. But the Cook Islands just about to kick off this one once again. The scoreboard has gone to sleep. Hopefully it does realize that there is a match going on relatively soon. Oh, it's halfway there. Is it going to give 4 points to Tonga? I hope it does relatively soon, but only in the 3rd minute of the game, Tonga already find themselves with a 4-0 lead. It's a good run forward from Whanua Blake. It was dangerous in the last match for Tonga when they were victorious over did they play the Welsh in their last game? Or did they play, no, it was the Welsh, wasn't it? I was going to say, did they play Papua New Guinea? But they did find themselves up against Papua New Guinea in the opening round of the competition, and that was a tremendous game. Could have gone either way. Tomalolo, now short ball after Kalamatangi finds the offload again, and Tonga look like they just want to keep this ball alive. Jesse New doing nicely, and also for my bet in South Africa, whether they win their World Cup pool, and if they come second, they will play either New Zealand or France, so we're going to have a tough quarter final, says Cameron Milner there. And also the Bulls need to rack up 8 more points real quick, and the Sharks need to convert a try with 4 points, or 4 points is impossible to get for the Sharks, unfortunately, for my bet. Says not everyday cultures. That's going to be brilliantly taken there by the Cook Islands. Olberg, I believe, was the man who claimed it. Now rolling it back. It's going to become a penalty there for offside against the Tongans, and Cook Islands now will be able to relieve some of that pressure they found themselves under. South Africa beat India, says Cameron Milner. So, yeah, nice work from the Proteas. It's the big shot there. I believe it was a little bit too high, though, from Will Pinasini. That is what has got him in a bit of trouble there. But currently 5 minutes through this game, Tonga now will be defending. The Cook Islands have one of their first real attacking opportunities of the day with Iro. And I like the island will found lacks of NRL experience, maybe 2025 Rugby League World Cup. And I guess all it takes is to just make sure they just keep on training. Don't give up on the idea of playing rugby league. Like, Ireland are one of those sides that if they continue to pour money into this contest and this type of play, they could actually be very strong in the future. And I'm lucky for Ireland. I know I read that one, and before I forgot, who won between England and Australia, Women's Rugby Union quarterfinals. So, yeah, England making their way through. Who won between USA and Canada as a result? I don't know. I know Canada were leading 7 points to 5 at one point, but I'm not too sure where it went from there. Now it's going to be kicked behind by the Cook Islands after they have finished their set. In fact, they did kick on 4th. A little bit of an interesting tactic there. Now Neil almost able to break his way through, but a good tackle made. I believe it was the number 13, Tete Fuano now. Did well now around the side. Lula here. Let's get straight back up to his feet, keeping this ball moving quickly for the Tongans. Already 6 minutes through this fixture. Tonga trying to defend. Cook Islands trying to defend here against a tough attacking play there. This time, Sione Katoa as the carry. They're already up to fourth, going off to the left-hand side. Whenua Blake moves it up to halfway, and that will be fifth and final. So they've probably made about 38 metres, I would say, if I had to guess. 41 metres, not too far off for the guessing game there. The Cookies underneath it, taking it nicely, and now Cook Islands will have themselves another attack. It's going to be another offside penalty against Tonga. That is about the second or third we have already seen. Now, discipline at this stage of the competition is so important, not so much for this game, but the game's moving forward. Because if you don't have good discipline and you end up getting yourself into that pattern of continuously giving away, that is when you start to see sides maybe have a bit of their downfall. I'm going to turn off that light. That makes me even... I was trying to get less red, but I think I'm just going to be red for this live stream by the looks of it, and I don't think I can really change it, sadly. Water, got to be good for you. Hydration is currently quite warm here in New Zealand for 3:30 a.m. Going off to the left-hand side for the Cook Islands. Couple big fans there from Makatoa. Going to be tackled nicely by Kalamatangi, though. Now the Cook Islands, they move up to their third tackle of the set, sitting 45 metres out. Nice cut-out ball. Nicely on the outside. Iro gets closer to 20 metres out. Tonga's still defending well. And I think the Cook Islands, their best bet is to throw a couple little set plays in up against Tonga, because their defence is going to be physically sound until you start to throw stuff at them that they may not be adapt to defending. That's going to be another carry forward. That's up to fifth now for the Cook Islands. So they are going to have to kick this. They made 37 metres in the process. Kicking it high. It's going to be coming down about 10 metres out for the line. Not the best kick at all for the Cook Islands. Ball not available to be picked up. Now just trying to kick it back across. It has hit a Cook Islands or a Tongan player. I think they're saying that is a knock-on against the Cook Islands, which they do not feel it was. They can captains challenge it if they have felt that they have been wrongly done by, but it doesn't seem like that's the case. They have to set play on and also hold the ball, lads, says Nate. And I can tell you now, Ireland will not do any better in the 2025 Rugby League World Cup because Irish Rugby Board don't offer contracts in Ireland, says Richard there. Nice take from the Tongans, or nice carry from Daniel Tupai, I should say. Now going off to the left-hand side, big run from Kalfusi. Leave his first run of the day. 9 minutes into the contest. The interchange players for both of these sides are very strong. A couple of Ronas for the Cook Islands and also Tatola. David Fafita, he's certainly one to watch out for Tonga when they decide to make that change. Kalamatangi, look for the offload. Didn't find it though. In fact, the ball just fell out of his hands, and the Cook Islands, because of it, are going to be able to get themselves their first try of the day, and this will actually give them the lead in the contest as well for the Cookies. And it's beautifully done by Olberg. The mistake from Kalamatangi, and it leads to the Cook Islands getting themselves that chance, although they want to check this one first. Okay, they're going upstairs to the TMO. What are we about to find out from that man? Are we going to find out that it is still a try, or are we going to find out that it is going to be a different story? We will go like this, and we will go like this. There we go. Just had to adjust it a little bit. And also, nice Cook Islands, right. They want to see if there was a hand involved. So Tomalolo went back across the Lolo here. Then it hit Kalamatangi. Now, for me, I would say that that's not a strip from Cook Islands. I would say that was just ball security from Kalamatangi. So he makes the tackle. He does slightly touch the ball, but it's one-on-one, so he's allowed to. So for me, that's play on. And brilliant, we have a game go the Cook Islands, says Richard. So we're going to see it in slow motion once again. Comes in to make the tackle. They will have to check to make sure that this ball hasn't traveled forward. Still got possession. Touches the hand there. Oh, the player's in an offside position. So it's actually going to be offside against Olberg. No try for the Cook Islands. And that is going to be now Tonga getting themselves the penalty way back down the field, but it was almost a great attacking opportunity for the Cook Islands. I think the referee is just waiting to see it come up on the screen saying no try. and then it will be going right back. And damn, says Nate, yeah, if that was a try, then that could have certainly ended up being a different story in the early stages of the contest. And that's what the Cook Islands need to do. They need to find those little mistakes that Tonga make and make the absolute most of them. It's going back now for the Tongans. They will have a decent attacking opportunity now from about maybe 30 or 40 meters out from the Cook Islands line. Which I mentioned, this is not the only rugby league game we are covering of the day, ladies and gentlemen. The next one that we are doing, it will be the matchup taking place between Samoa and England. Should be. Oh, sorry, not Samoa and England, Samoa and France. It's going to be a great game, and we will be covering it on the channel as well. And then on the Tuesday morning at 8:30 a.m., the next game that we are doing, it is going to be Papua New Guinea in their game up against Wales. Scrum feed taken by Tonga, sitting 40 meters out. Katoa, good quick hands, but it's going to be dropped by Daniel Tupou. I don't know whether or not he was expecting the pass from Nau as quickly as he got it. And the Cook Islands now will have themselves a scrum from 40 meters out from their own line. But it was good, quick hands, just slapped down. In the end, Daniel Tupou wasn't able to hang on to it. He'll be a bit disappointed with that, as he should have seen that it was coming. Just didn't really grip to the hands the way that the talented winger wanted it to. He's already got himself the lone try of this contest. It was an unsuccessful conversion, though, which is something to keep an eye on throughout this matchup as well. Currently 10 and a half minutes through in this contest, though. It's going to be flying by, I have a feeling. Nice carry. Tonga at the moment, and the total meters gained sitting 224 compared to the 70 of the Cook Islands. So they've certainly had more of those meters made than their opposition. The Cook Islands, though, with Titivano, I should say there. Nice carry now going off to the short side. Getting closer. I believe that was, I want to say it was Jonathan Ford. Yes, it was. Looking for the offload, almost opening up for the Cook Islands. They're up to their fourth tackle now. Going off to the right-hand side. The drawn pass is looking great from the Cook Islands. Now another big run. Ball on the inside. Another offload. The Cook Islands find themselves 10 meters out from the line now. And a great attacking opportunity going with the grubber in behind it. Sits up and Tonga able to regather. And no real danger existed for them there. Kalamatangi, actually a man who got down onto that ball, was able to clean it up. Now Pinasini tries to drive out for Tonga, sitting 12 meters out from their own line, looking to continue making those extra meters. Daniel Tupou joining up in the midfield, a long way off its wing. Now another run. It's going to be knocked out of the hands, although I believe that's going to be a penalty in favour of the Tongans. That time, Peru, I think they've said that he slapped it out of his hands, did they? Yeah, knocking the ball out of his hands, they've said. And that is what the penalty was for. The players getting themselves some water, though. It's been a fast-paced start to this matchup between Tonga and the Cook Islands. We knew these two sides were going to come out firing, though. Something that you always see with the Oceania sides is the fact that they want to go out there and put on a show, and they want to put on a show from the very first second of the match. Kalamatangi wrestled down nicely there now. Kalamatangi goes off to the left. Tallest halfback in the Rugby League World Cup. Says Nate there. So is that Aaron Taroi, who is the halfback for this game? Oh, sorry, it might actually be Jonathan Ford. Sorry, I'm still terrible with my halfback. I know it's 7 or 9, but I can't decide. I think it's 7, isn't it? Jonathan Ford. He is a big man. Now back across Tonga. Tomalolo over the line he goes. And tell you what, he's a bulldozer and a half. Jason Tomalolo, he hasn't been playing throughout this Rugby League World Cup, but now gets his opportunity. And that is going to make the score just a little bit further in favour of... Okay, they've said it's Zane Titivano who scored the try, but they've given it to the wrong side. That is certainly not Titivano. That is Jason Tomalolo. And he has just scored himself the try for Tonga. Going short, bomb, breaks over the top of one player, then drives through 2 other tacklers to be able to go over the line and get himself the try. And as much as they wanted to stop him, there was just no stopping him once he found that momentum. He's back, as well says Nate. He certainly is. And he looks like he's come back at just the right time of the Rugby League World Cup as Tonga try and book themselves their spot in the quarterfinal, which they actually already have theoretically, unless points differential went really far against them. And also Papua New Guinea were able to beat Wales by a very large margin as well. Now the kick about to come up here for Isaiah Katoa. Currently 14 minutes through the game, and Tonga find themselves with an 8-0 lead over the Cook Islands. Seems like it has gone as a very good start to the match for the Tongans. The Cook Islands, they have to try and find a way of stopping this momentum that Tonga are creating. Katoa, this one should be kickable. Like I mentioned, this one, I'd say he's got about a 90% chance of getting it. Definitely with the natural little bit of the right to left hook that he gets. It's gone over, and that is going to make the score now 10 points for Tonga and 8 for the Cook Islands. So a great first 15 for the team who are sitting top of the table at the moment in their group. It does go Tonga, then it is the Cook Islands, then Papua New Guinea. But if the Cook Islands lose this game, then Papua New Guinea, the door is wide open for them to be able to get themselves a win over Wales and move through to the quarterfinals. Now back across, Tonga using Whenua Blake as their first carrier. Does make about 15 meters, including about 10 that were post-contact. Can always be extremely useful for a side. Now, once again, another big crash up from the big Tongan forwards. I believe that might have been actually one of the interchange players. No, in fact, Futueka. He is still out there on the field. Kalfusi. Another run forward for Tonga, moving up to their third tackle now, going off to the right-hand side. Jason Tomalolo just hits it at the line. He just has no fear for his own body's health, really. He'll just throw himself at the line, hope for the best. Futueka now almost gets up to the 30-meter line, and friggin' Sharks says, Gareth, what's the score on that one at the moment, Gareth? Do let me know. I was keeping an eye on it, but then the fact that my PC crashed meant that I did have to close the tab that had it open, sadly. So I am kind of balancing it without risking looking at it, if that makes sense. That one's gone into touch for Tonga. Just a little mistake there from Lolo here. Almost ended up, he just ended up putting the ball out. Not how he would have liked it, but this is 10 meters out from the Cook Islands line. They're going to be hitting it up at the line with a good run from Stephen Masters. And how we looking, Sharks? Says Nate there now is going to be back across. Olberg, the man who almost scored the try earlier on in the game for the Cook Islands, now being taken down. Back across to the left-hand side. Ero was able to find the offload, gives it off now to Olberg. And I was at 40-20 when I turned the game off. Oh, okay, so not the best scoreline at the moment. Well, the big question of France beat Samoa. I would fancy Tonga to beat France. So I just wonder, could Tonga beat France, win a semi-final and make the final, says Richard. It's certainly a possibility. I think this Tongan side have been going a lot better as of late. They had their close game in the first matchup up against Papua New Guinea, where they narrowly were able to get themselves the victory. But other than that, I feel like it's going to continue being a nice build-up in this competition for Tonga. Definitely with Tomalolo back now. But I think the big match that a lot of people want to see is Samoa-Tonga, just because it's that Pacific Island battle that we could possibly get to see in the near future, next week to be exact. But now the ball going across. Good run from the Cook Islands, almost breaking through. It's going to be fifth and final. Perot was tackled. Now finding the offload. The little kick in behind. It's actually gone backwards. Is it going to be 6 more? Is it? No. Ero just tried the kick in behind. And it's going to be well cleaned up by Tonga. Only 2 meters out from their line. True Gareth says, Nate, it's ever going to beat India by 5 wickets, says Corbin. So, yeah, very good win for the Proteas over the Indians in the T20 World Cup. Now back across. It is going to be the first set restart of the day that we've seen after 18 minutes. Tonga will get themselves a few more now. Now back across. Big run forward from Daniel Tupou. It's going to be the penalty for Cook Islands being offside there. And that is the last thing they wanted. They didn't want to allow that pressure to start to build for them. Like they've set, a bit of a free hit for Tonga. Be able to run that one at the line with it being offside. And then you just kick it downfield. Tonga now sitting about 40 meters out charging up, penalties conceded. We've seen Tonga concede 2 so far throughout this match. Up the Cook Islands, just the 1. But now Tonga find themselves only 20 metres out from the line. Whanua Blake with a nice step off his left. Still making a couple extra metres. He has been very good at those post contacts. Who will be the All Blacks captain? I would say Artie Savia will move into the captaincy role. Either that or Sam Whitelock. One of those two will be the AB's captain more than likely. I'll get him back to his feet there for Tonga. Cross to the left-hand side. Nice draw and pass from Kalamatangi. Great pick-up from Tomalolo. He's going to score again. And that is his second try of the game now. Jason Tomalolo. He's making up for lost time. Yes, he missed some of the rest, or all of the rest, of the Rugby League World Cup, but he has just decided, might as well just get to the leading try scorer sheet now. And I think Tonga people would rather make a final and not play Samoa. Am I wrong, says Richard English? I think it just depends, because I guess Samoa, one of the sides now in the competition, who are starting to find a bit of form after beating Greece comfortably. So if they beat France comfortably, I think Tonga would be up for the challenge, and they'd be like, yep, well, we've got to take them down. That's exactly what we're going to try and do. Wales haven't been in New Zealand since 1953. And to be honest, they've probably got not a terrible chance of beating them this weekend, to be honest. I think New Zealand really need to be careful up against Wales, or they could find themselves in a bit of trouble. And Bulls won against the Sharks, 40 points to 27 with a bonus point. Says Jan Rinal there. So nice work from the Bulls, getting themselves the victory there. And the full 5 points, so that will actually move them up a little bit further on the table, I believe, now above the Stormers, finding themselves sitting in third. Tomalolo with that try now makes the score 14-0 with a kick to come. Seems like he's really one of the leaders in this Tongan lineup and is absolutely loving being back, because he's just making it look easy, being able to run through. 20 and a half minutes gone, though, in this fixture. 14-0. Kick to come now. It will be once again Zaya Katai, sitting 1 from 2 today. Another little yawn for myself. Hopefully we don't have too many of those. We have still got another one live stream after this one. I look very red. I don't know why. I'm going to try and change the lighting a little bit. That still makes me look very red. How about this light? That doesn't really do too much. What if we change the tone of this light? Make it a yellow one. There we go. That might be a little bit better. I'm still very red, though. And I look straight into the lights, and now I can't really see. And India lost to South Africa in the Cricket World Cup. They certainly did. The Proteas doing very well for themselves. Tomalolo, though, doing very well for himself in this match. Also getting the 2 tries so far throughout the early stages of the fixture. But what we will quickly do is we will have a look at the odds and see how far behind they feel the Cook Islands are in this matchup now. I believe they will feel that they're quite far in this matchup. Now, big run forward from Kalamatangi. And also, well, the Bulls scored 16 fast since we left. It was 17-16, says Richard there. So, yeah, both sides really ramping it up for the last little while of that contest. And Tonga playing smart footy, going out there, getting the W injury-free come quarterfinals full squad. Tonga plays footy's final, and that's going to be finals footy, I should say. Another ball on the inside. That will be another try, and this time it is Naiu who has been able to get himself the try for Tonga. They will now find themselves sitting 20 points to 0, and this game's becoming a very one-sided one now, which, of course, we don't really want to see. We'd love to see the Cook Islands challenging Tonga, and I say that for Tonga's benefit as well, because at the end of the day, they want to make sure that they're having their best defense going forward, and it's going to be one that they want to make sure that they do very well. I told you this could be South Africa World Cup so much, or World Cup with so much heartbreak and cheating against them, says Jan Rinal. I know that you were saying that there was cheating because it rained and their game got called off a bit earlier on. A lot of games getting called off for that T20 World Cup, isn't it? At the moment, also tried to try, and 80 is on here, says Richard. Yeah, currently going almost at a point a minute for the Tongans. So I guess we should ask the question early, ladies and gentlemen. Yes or no? Do Tonga get themselves 80 points in this matchup? Now, 80 is a lot. Do remember, 80 is a lot, but currently we haven't really seen any signs that they're slowing down. So 80 is doable at this stage. Could be more, says Nate. The biggest score that we've seen so far in the Rugby League World Cup, I believe, was 94 points. Don't know if they'll quite get to that, but they're certainly trying to get towards it. way they are playing early on here, Tongan. But currently 20-0. Another kick coming up for Katoa and from Papua New Guinea. But I support the Cook Islands. There's Fernandez. So we are actually going to be doing the Papua New Guinea game coming up relatively soon. And that is going to be tomorrow morning, 8:30 a.m. New Zealand time. Papua New Guinea, they will be playing Wales. And we will be doing the commentary for that matchup as well. Katoa lining this one up, has got it over. Makes the score now 22 points to Tonga, 0 to the Cook Islands. That is after 23 and 95, says Nate. Oh, did they get 95 rather than 94? I might be off by a point there, possibly. Do let me know, Nate. I know it was a very high score, though, in that matchup. Speaking of high scores, anyone who has watched the video of me and George playing Rugby League Live 4 Samoa versus France, highly recommend if you enjoy a bit of gaming, including rugby league gaming, that is a video that I would recommend. It's an interesting one. There's a seesaw of emotions, I would say. It's the best way of describing it. But currently now Lola here goes back across nicely. Now Cook Islands, they have to try and break the momentum. It's another penalty, though, in favour of Tonga. And at the moment, the Cook Islands just don't seem to quite be able to get into this contest. Cook Islands just repeatedly find themselves on the back foot, and Tonga know that. And they're going to keep on going. 80 for me, says Richard. And then Taroi has been taken off the field, I see, for the Cook Islands. And my score prediction for Tonga, 95 points, England 94, says Nathan there. Okay, so you're saying they get themselves a little bit more than England were able to get in their game. Could be. That's the thing. We haven't really seen any signs that they want to slow down yet, Tonga. Seems like they are going to keep on going now. It's going to be Luke going off to the right-hand side. This Cook Islands defense, the thing is, in their past couple games, they haven't been too bad, the Cook Islands. We're actually going to show what they have done. These are the previous results for both of these sides. Now, Jason Tomalolo once again hits hard at line. So, as you can see, 18 points to 12, they were able to beat the Welsh. And then in their game up against Papua New Guinea, they found themselves 32 points to 16 down at the end of the contest. Whereas Tonga up against Papua New Guinea, it was a tough game for them. In their warm-up game up against France, they won at 48 points to 12. That is another try. Will Penasini gets in for it. And now the race for a point a minute, Tonga have taken the lead. And then also I should mention that Tonga had another game here that has been cut out, but that was their game up against Wales, and they were able to win it relatively comfortably in the second half. And also here in Papua New Guinea, we cannot sleep because the Commonwealth will be playing at 4:30 a.m. Monday morning. It's 1 a.m. right now in Papua New Guinea, and we can't sleep. Still sitting up to watch the Commonwealth, says Fernandez. But yeah, that will be tomorrow morning. So be sure to get some sleep before that matchup if you can. It's going to be an entertaining one. And Papua New Guinea, if they win that matchup, they will be going through to the group stage, going through to the quarterfinals, which would be absolutely massive for them, but brilliantly done. The kick in behind, number 17, had to try and find the option. Just kept on bumping out of tackles. Then it went to Luke, who went for that little grubber. Pinasini waited for it to set up, was able to take it nicely, and Tonga now 26 points to 0. This is not looking good for the Cook Islands at the moment. 26 minutes gone, 26 points on the board, and a kick to come for the Tongans as well. And just says Nate. All right, this will still be a relatively tough kick for Katoa. His natural angle does curl it from right to left, whereas this kick, he almost needs it to do the opposite. If not, maybe start it just a little bit outside of the right-hand post and then bring it back round. I don't think Tonga could have gotten off to a better start in this matchup for the amount of time that they've had on the clock. Yes, they could have scored some more tries earlier, but it's been pretty smooth sailing, I should say, for the Tongans throughout the first little while. They should let the fans in for nothing. All run, all ace. Says Richard, that one, he did start it out wide and it came round. Beautifully done. And that is going to make the score now 28 points to 0 in favour of Tonga. So they are literally racing a point a minute. They need to try every 6 minutes if they want to convert it, or to try every 4 minutes if they are not going to convert it. But Will Penasini getting over that ball like it was an easy little grubber in behind. That's not an easy ball to regather, though, with the way Penasini did it. They've gone short. Tonga taken beautifully, and they are once again going to have themselves possession about 30 metres out from their line. Daniel Tupou rolls it back. Looks a little bit slow getting up to his feet there. Now, Nice work there. Mauroa, going off the field for the Cook Islands. And that is going to be for Moale, who has now made his way out there. Davey Moale, that is. Now, Kalamatangi. It's the ball for a second for Noah Blake. Linking up on the outside. There was an interception opportunity, but again, Tonga find themselves going forward. Beautifully way to kick. That is a classy try. One of the best that we will see from Tonga throughout this fixture. That was class and a half, and it's another try for the Tongans. They now sit 32-0 in the lead. Wow. I feel like that's the best way of describing what we've seen in the first half from Tonga here. Just wow. Looks like the rain is also starting to fall, which makes the continuation of the grubbers that they've been able to score even that much more impressive. I believe it was Naiu was able to get that one very nicely. What happens here? I believe the interception attempt from the Cook Islands went badly wrong. Just left the space on the outside. This kick is class because it has gone the perfect weight that they needed. And then now 32 points on the board for the Tongans. I believe it was actually Stephen Masters who tried to run up, get the intercept. Yes, if he had got it, it might have paid off at the other end, but because it didn't, it left a massive gap for Tonga to go straight through. Now almost 30 minutes gone in this game. Second try of the match for Tesi Naiu. And it is now going to make it, I guess, a race for the hat-trick between him and Jason Tomalolo. And Tonga scoring a try every minute. And there as well says Nate, at the moment, they are just on another level in this game. We have not seen the Cook Islands concede. Tell you what, this is actually a stat and a half, ladies and gentlemen. I'm just going to quickly show this. Cook Islands, the most amount of points that they have conceded throughout this World Cup so far in one game is 32. If this kick goes over, they have already conceded more points than they have in any other fixture, and there's still another 50 minutes left on the clock. But this is the way the table sits. Papua New Guinea in second, Cook Islands in third. Pretty much with a win here, that's gone over. A win here for Tonga secures Papua New Guinea's spot in second. Unless, of course, Wales win their game up against Papua New Guinea by 42 or more points, which seems very unlikely. Even for Wales to win seems relatively unlikely at the moment. But that kick going over 34 points to 0 in favour of the Tongans. Another runaway. Seems like it is going to be on the cards. I'd like to see the Cook Islands at least fire back a little bit in this half. Like I mentioned, it doesn't just benefit the Cook Islands if they get themselves a couple good attacking plays. It actually benefits Tonga. And as JT playing, he certainly is. Jason Tomalolo back in the Tongan side. And he's already scored 2 tries. He bulldozed his way over the try line for his first. And then ran in nicely for the second. There he is again, Jason Tomalolo making a couple post contact meters there, running the ball nicely. Tonga up to the halfway line. Lolo here, quick hands, Kalamatangi. Now it's opened up once again on the outside. Passed off nicely. It's going to be a good run and a step as well. Offload on the inside. Was he getting tackled before he had the ball in his hands? I think that's something that they may consider going upstairs to have a look at. But that was brilliant work from Tonga with their handling. They're going upstairs to check this one. Did he get played before he had the ball in his hands? Quick hands from Kalamatangi, though. Found the hands of Pinaseni. Then found it on the outside. To Katoa. Found a nice step. Look for the offload there. Yeah, he was getting tackled before the ball got to him. So I would say that that's going to be a penalty against Arona. On-field decision of a penalty try. That's going to hurt more because that's a guaranteed 6, isn't it? And also, we've got there the defense coach. I will never coach anyone. If I was him, I would change my name, says Richard English. Tackle without the ball. So, penalty try seems like it is going to be the call here. And I'll come on, or poor cookies come on. I get them one try come on, says Mike in there as well. So, Katoa found the offload off on the inside. And because it was such an early tackle, clearly without the ball, it's going to be a penalty try, and Tonga are going to move themselves up to 40 points now with still plenty of time left in this first half, another 8.5 minutes. They can pretty much do whatever they want while they're out on the field at this stage of the match. I wonder what the betting odds were before this match, because the Cook Islands surely now are paying about $101, which is the maximum that they can pay in the odds. So it's the penalty try. It's going to be 38 points to Tonga. And I believe with the penalty try, the conversion is going to be given to them as well. And South Africa beat India by 5 wickets. I think they can be a dangerous team alongside with the Black Caps win the T20 World Cup. Says coding in there as well. So, yeah, South Africa, it would be great to see them go far in the competition. I know a lot of South African supporters are hoping for them to go far. Okay, 100 is on now, says Richard. Yeah, when was the last time we saw a game of rugby league hit the 100 points? I know we've had a couple that have been close in the 80s and the 90s. The 100, though, that is just next level. I dropped something. Sorry for being so zoomed in. I dropped one of my vampire fangs that I did have for the outfit earlier on in the day, but this is going to be the kick. Actually, no, sorry. The penalty try does not count as a guaranteed kick. They do still have to take it, but it is from straight out in front. So it's pretty much guaranteed for the Tongans to be able to get this one. But yeah, betting odds not looking good at the moment for the Cook Islands. As it shouldn't, I guess you could say, with the way that it is sitting. Okay, a kick about to go over from Katoa. The back of the penalty try, still another 7.5 minutes left in this first half. What could be the highest scoring game up till this point of the Rugby League World Cup. The Cook Islands have to try and stop this momentum because currently Tonga find themselves on 40 points. They could easily be on 50 by half-time here because I can see Cook Islands conceding another 2 points, another 2 tries. And now David Fafita is out there on the field. It just gets a little bit worse for the Cookies every time the Tongans do something here. Right. Kicked off long. Almost went into touch on the full, but we'll be back across. Good crash up. I believe that was Tatola there that time. One of his first carries since coming onto the field as an interchange player. David Fafita hits the line hard. Wrestled down. Tackle made, I believe. That was Daniela. Now another big run forward. This time it was, I think it was Napa. No, number 21. Who's that for Tonga? That would actually be Murdoch Masilla, I believe I see there. Now back across Kalfusi with the skip pass. Going nicely forward. That's going to be Tatola once again. Okay, that's going to be the 4th tackle. This is probably one of the least eventful sets so far for Tonga, but they've still got one more play that they'll be able to decide on. It's going to be a good carry forward. Jonathan Ford makes the tackle there. Almost gave away the 6 more, 52 metres gained. Now the ball's going high. This is where they need to make sure that they get it right. It's slapped back from Tonga, and they still get themselves the try. Lolo here claims it. It's another one. Okay, they're going to be checking this one by the sounds of it. No, they are giving it as the try. Tonga get another. How did they do that? It's just every single set they get themselves the try, and the Cook Islands don't have an answer for it. And it's just incredible, really, the way that this match has been going. I don't think I have seen a side get dominated in a half the way we are seeing the Cook Islands be dominated by Tonga right now. 35 minutes through, almost 50 points on the board already, and still another half of rugby league to go after this one. You know what? The highlights package of this game is literally going to be the full 80 minutes. You're just going to have to put the full match highlights on YouTube. The full match replay and the process as well. But Lolo here, he gets himself the try. It was a kick initially from Lolo here. Slapped back by Katoa. And another one. Lolo here is a very happy man at the moment. That is for sure. Right. What do you do if you're the Cook Islands? You're just pretty much watching Tonga do whatever they want out there on the field, which is so weird to watch because of how well the Cook Islands played up against Wales, because of how much they fought up against PNG. It just doesn't seem like this Cook Islands side were coming into this game knowing they had a chance. And I think Tonga were coming into this game knowing they had the potential to dominate. And that's what they've been doing. Katoa now going to be lining up this kick to try and make it 46 points on the board. That is not me I guess I was going to say misrepresenting how many points the Tongans have got. That is exactly how much they have, although now they've got the 46. With the rain falling a little bit, doesn't seem like it's going to be affecting the way that the Tongans are playing. If they score themselves a try in the next 3.5 minutes, they will have 50 points in the first half of this game. And what's the highest points ever in rugby league union or history? One more. We will go here. We will go Rugby League International. In fact, we'll go International Rugby League highest score. Highest score, most points in a game was 114 by the Australians, I believe. Is that what that's telling me? And then second was actually 98 for England, if I'm not wrong. And also, what do you do if you're the Cook option? The Cook Islands option we're at English, Kiwi, or Kangaroos jersey. Yeah, it's tricky for them. Oh, no, it's opened again. Daniel Tupou now breaking the line. Cook Islands just making tackles, but they're not sticking well enough. It's just the Cook Islands keep on going and going and going. There is certainly a difference in the skill level we are seeing between these two sides. Another offload there. Beautifully done. But yeah, I believe it's around that 110 mark. And it was actually set by the Australians as the record holders. Now, grab it in behind. Doesn't quite work out. The Cook Islands going to be able to get this ball back now. And they've got the position, much to the elation of the crowd. They're giving them a clap just to be able to get it back. And it's going to be the penalty won by the Cook Islands. Right, you get to take a breath now. If you're the Cook Islands, you're not in any hurry to take this one quickly. You're just looking to have this as the final set of the half. All right, come on, Tonga, 120, says Richard there. Now, we're looking for the quick tap. And against 210, the Kangaroos. In fact, I'll open that Wikipedia one at halftime and see who it was up against. The Cook Islands coach does not look happy. Why would you be, though? Because what's happened in this first half? Now, 30 seconds left at the moment. That is the second tackle for the Cook Islands. Run forward. Tackle by Murdoch. Masilla there was the number 20, Moale. But there was nice run there from the Cook Islands, although the ball has been dropped. So now Tonga, with a minute left on the clock, have another attacking opportunity. Sweet, says Nate. And there as well. Now back across to the left-hand side. Forward almost through. Didn't quite get through the way he would have liked to, though. Now another big run from Daniel Tupou. 50 seconds now. Tony Oral, as the coach, says Nate there. Any relation to the fullback, Kale Ero? Nathan, do let me know. It's another penalty. And that time, it's in favour of the Tongans. Right, 30 seconds left in the first half. Looks like Tonga are deciding what they want to do. They take the quick tap rather than going for the kick for the touchline. David Fafita is the man who carries it up. Now 20 seconds left on the clock here for the Tongans. They'll be looking for one last try in the first half. They've got the numbers on the outside. Short ball. Kafusi goes over. And it's 50 points in one half for the Tongans. Can you get any better in a game of 40 minutes of rugby league? That's because he knows he'll be a poor man in 40 minutes. $1,000, says Sione. And there as well. But nice try for Felici Kalfusi. Does very well there. Getting himself the try for the Tongans. Right, we're going to have a look and see what the highest points, biggest wins. So the biggest margin win was actually 106 points. And that was for Australia. They won 110 points to 4 over the Russians. And then the most points in a game was 114. It was a team effort, though, between Australia and Russia. So I believe the highest amount of points we've seen from a team in an individual half was 110. And Australia were the team that set that. 94 for England in a full-time score. And also 84 for Australia. And that was actually a relatively recent game, those two ones that I just mentioned. Why did Japan say New Zealand are more beatable, says Corbin? I would say because they are right. New Zealand are a beatable side at the moment, and Japan proved that they are certainly a side that in future could beat the New Zealanders. And England defo send the bar high this week, says Ed Vogel. So yeah, they got themselves that second one on the board for the highest winning margin. Most points in a game, though, combined. That was actually the matchup between England and Greece is second on the board. Like they're saying, Tonga top of the group by an absolute mile here. If you're Cook Islands, a lesser side would just say we're not coming out for the second half. You can have the win, we forfeit, but they will not do that. They will get back out there and they'll try their absolute best to try and somehow get some points on the board. Yeah, going to be tricky to do though. So individual records, I'm just going to have a quick look through, see what we can find out for other than, no, they haven't really got too many other stats overall, but Lola here, he will be very impressed with that first half, like we mentioned. And happy Halloween, says Corbin. We did actually have a Santa suit on earlier on the live stream. And also, we did have our vampire fangs a little bit earlier on the live stream as well. How does that work? There you go. Look at that. It's actually really hard work to keep them in place because they don't stick. You just got to keep on kind of holding them there with your lips. Makes it very difficult to talk. So, yeah, they kind of fall out very easy, unfortunately. But throughout this first half, almost 1,000 meters gained for Tonga, 933. Average meters gained 9 compared to the Cook Islands 6,000 passes, or sorry, not 1,000 passes, 99 passes, and 156 tackles being made by the Cook Islands. Completed sets 19 out of the 20. And last year you did a rugby stream on Halloween. We certainly did. We did one on the Kiwi Lad Sport because we had a copyright strike from the Cricket World Cup, for those who remember. And it was actually Wales versus New Zealand was our Halloween live stream. So that was a lot of fun. That was back when Wales, because it was outside of the international transfer window, or international window, I should say, they didn't actually have all their players. I remember that game quite fondly. But yeah, we were Harry Potter. This year we did come as Santa. So we're changing it up a little bit for the Kiwi Lads live streams. But anyone who is new to the channel, be sure to leave a like and subscribe. They are just showing the highlights of Fiji versus Scotland. So they have confirmed themselves as one of the sides through to the quarterfinals. And now it's just more of the question of who else is going to make it far in this competition now. We're actually going to have a quick look at the way that it sits and see what they have confirmed. So the Women's World Cup, they have got a few of those matches confirmed. Also the Wheelchair World Cup. I would actually quite like to watch one of the Wheelchair World Cup games just to see kind of how it works. I feel like it would be quite an interesting watch. Looking through at the quarterfinals, Australia and Lebanon, they will be the Saturday morning game. That game actually overlaps with New Zealand taking on the Irish 15. So we will be doing the Irish 15 game during that time rather than Australia versus Lebanon. England, they will be playing at 3:30 a.m. on their Sunday's fixture, and then Sunday morning it's going to be one of the games. And then the 7th of November is actually the next quarterfinal. Interesting. Is that actually correct, or have they got that slightly wrong? Because if they're waiting an extra week before having the other semi-final, that seems really strange. Maybe. I'm just going to have a quick look and see what I can find for when those games are supposedly taking place. It doesn't actually have much information, though. Okay, there we go. The semi-finals are going to be on the 12th of November and the 13th of November. And also, yeah, it's actually next weekend, sorry. Yeah, I don't know why I found that so weird, because that is when the 7th is. So the Kiwis are playing Fiji. That is at Sunday, 8:30 a.m. I believe that's actually at the same time as France are playing up against the Australians. So that's going to be a hard one to decide which game to do. We might have to do a little bit of an overlap with maybe another content creator, try and have it so that we have a rugby union commentary going, maybe with Rugby Itch, or we are also doing New Zealand versus Fiji. And then the other game is England. They will be playing up against the winner of, I believe they will be playing Papua New Guinea, maybe. That's going to be a big game. when it takes place in Oz next weekend. International autumn tours for 9 hours straight, says Nate. So, yeah, it's going to be a big one. Try and decide which games we are doing. I believe that England, their game up with Papua New Guinea is actually going to overlap with the All Blacks. Some big decisions to be made, man. That is for sure. And also, Hamish, do you think, or who do you think is more likely to beat the Box, France or Ireland? I think, I'd say France, just because they have been playing a few of the Irish sides in the URC, so they're starting to get used to them a little bit. But yeah, that game up against France, I think, is a bit of the unknown. France currently on a big winning streak when it comes to international rugby. They'll want that to continue, and I think that this will be one of those games that they certainly tried their absolute hardest. But yeah, I believe I'm just going to have a quick look. Oopsies, I dropped my fang again. Keeps going on the ground. I'm going to have a look and see New Zealand versus Wales. New Zealand versus Wales. What time has that taken place? New Zealand versus Wales for the upcoming game. No, not the 2019 World Cup. Maybe All Blacks versus Wales would be a better way of typing it. Versus Wales. That's going to be on the 5th of November. Oh, no, that's the UK one. So that will be a little bit different. The 5th of November, kickoff at 3:15 in the afternoon. So I believe that is going to be, that Sunday morning at the same time as England versus Papua New Guinea. It's a tough one to decide what game to do. Oh, I'm see-through. That is unfortunate. That was beautifully done by England in their game up against Greece. They also managed to get themselves quite a few points on the board, and they'll look to do that in their next game that they play up against the Papua New Guineans as well for England. Now, just waiting for the second half of this game to get underway. Now, it says 46 at the moment on our board. It should say 52. There we go. 52-0 at halftime in this contest. Tonga have just been on another level in this matchup, and they are going for the record currently. For them to be able to be the highest scoring game in history, they need 110 points on the board here. And that will put them well and truly up there on the board. But we will be keeping you updated in terms of how it works and what the hell is Cook Islands. Says reality always wins. It is a country. Reality always wins. It's a country in Oceania, if you know whereabouts that is, if you know of the continent. And yeah, they are a small place. You would have heard maybe, oh no, you may not have heard of Rarotonga, probably the most well-known area in the Cook Islands. So somewhere that quite a few people go on a holiday, quite a booming tourist industry over there in the Cook Islands for themselves. But yeah, currently not going the best in the Rugby League World Cup, unfortunately. They've had a couple decent games in their first couple, but this one certainly has not gone the way that they wanted it to. The most points that they had conceded up till this game was 32 points in a game. That was up against Papua New Guinea, and now this game is a completely different story in this matchup. Yeah, they are just showing the highlights that England were able to have. They just kept on scoring time after time after time, which is what Tonga will look to do in the second half. Now, they were going at a point a minute for the first little while of that half, and then they started ramping up even more. And that is where it went dangerous. I just swallowed a hair. Well, not swallowed, but it was one of those Santa hairs, I think, from earlier on. And welcome to reality, my guy, says Nate. And there as well. But yeah, a World Cup record-winning score for England, 94 points to 4. Now the question is, can Tonga go on and beat that record that we have just seen set by the English? And that is the big question. So yeah, on the 3:30 a.m. game, that is going to be Samoa versus Tonga. That will actually overlap with England versus Argentina, I think, as the game there. And Cook Islands, it's a beautiful place, mate. Beautiful people, small population, little resources. They're doing good. Says Nazi Williams. And can we see 100 plus in this game? Says Yandy. Now it's going to be close, I would say, for the Tongans at this stage. Yes, Hamish, have a good, great week. Says not your everyday cultist. You too, mate. Hope you are going to be having a very enjoyable weekend with the sevens coming up as well. South Africa going to be taking part in those. Alongside that, we've got the Rugby League World Cup. We have got the men's internationals coming back. The Rugby World Cup for the women's side of things. That's going to be coming back as well. New Zealand playing France and Australia playing the USA, I believe is their game that they have got coming up. So we're hoping to cover both of those games on the channel, but we may only get time to do the women's game for the Black Ferns, but it's going to be a good matchup. I think I'm going to have to do some groveling to my parents and ask them whether or not they are willing to do the All Blacks versus Wales game at 3:15 a.m. or 4:15 a.m., I should say, New Zealand time, when it does take place. And reality, where you from, brother? Says Nuzzy Williams. And there as well, they are just showing the highlights of Jason Tomalolo. The way he was able to run the ball was absolutely sensational, and it is terrific to see him back in that Tongan kit. Definitely this close to the quarterfinals. He's going to be a real impact player, but the fact that he's not even really he's one of the standouts, don't get me wrong, but also he's been gelling in with this Tongan side, who are also all in great form, heading into the later stages of this competition. You can't really ask for better form than we've already seen from Tonga throughout this first half up against the Cook Islands. And they will look to continue it in the second 40 minutes. They need another 58 points to match the record for the most points scored in an individual game. Biggest margin, I believe, was actually 106. I think it was Australia who did have that. We'll just have another quick look at the record. So the way the record needs to be, most points in a game was 114. Most points scored by a team was 110. That was by Australia, followed by 94 by England in their game recently up against Greece. And the biggest winning margin is 106. So that will be what Tonga are aiming for. But they will all have to try and score a little bit quicker than they did in the first half, which sounds absolutely insane to say because of how quickly they were scoring. They scored themselves so many tries. I believe a total of 10 in that first half. Pretty handy for themselves. In fact, it might have been 9, in fact, that they were able to get. But they are just showing all of the highlights of all of the tries. The last try of the half scored by Kalfusi, and he will be looking to get himself another one in the second 40. I don't believe we've seen anyone get themselves a hat-trick as of yet, though, which is pretty impressive. Tomalolo's close. Also, Naiu is also right up there. Who else has got themselves a whole heap of try? I know Penicillin has got one. Tupou has got one. Kalfusi has got one. And I believe there is one other try scorer throughout that first half, which might have been actually Sione. Lolo here was able to get the other one. But Tonga now fired up, just about to leave their changing rooms, ladies and gentlemen, for another second half that they will be looking to try and dominate. Deep breaths being taken, I would think, by the Cook Islands throughout their changing room experience, pretty much trying to work out how do we fix this, because this is not going the way that we want it to. We want it to be right up there on the board. We wanted to keep Tonga close, but 52 points is not close. In fact, 52 points is about as big of a margin as you would see in one half of rugby league. It's a beautiful day, though, at the stadium. It's weird how it was raining. Now it's sunny. The weather in England is always one that is the hardest to predict almost anywhere in the world. Second half just about to get underway. The good news for the Cook Islands is Tonga will be kicking off this one. So they will at least get a little bit of possession before we get too far through this matchup. Or the second half, I should say. Also, we get a laughing face from Nate in there as well. Right. Kicked off by Tonga. We are underway now, ladies and gentlemen, for the second 40 of this fixture. So Tonga, they want to score more than 110 points in this matchup to try and get themselves the record. Back across now. Cook Islands, though, they were in position and probably waiting for a Zuba, says Nate there. And I also just hope the Cookies don't get the Greece/Oz score and the spaceship, says Nate. And there as well. That's going to be another tackle, the Cook Islands. If they can get themselves a try in this game, that would be actually pretty handy for them overall. And what surprised me is it's easier tackle in rugby league than rugby union, as those scores should not be so high, says Richard there. Although it depends, because when you've got a big Tongan running straight at you, like Jason Tomalolo, he's about 120 kgs of pure muscle, and he will break you in half. So he's a hard man to stop when he gets flowing. Like, this is another good run from the Tongans. I can see what you're saying, though. We do see a lot more tackles made throughout a game of rugby league, normally because you've got a couple more players working together in that regard, and also you don't have to worry about the rucks slow down the game compared to just pretty much placing the ball, playing it, and then going back for another tackle. It is going to be Tonga just outside of their 22. Daniel Tupou now going off short side to the hands of Tatola. Currently sitting 41 and a half minutes through. It's a big run forward from Murdoch Masili. Certainly is not one to run slowly into a challenge when he gets the opportunity. Now off to the right-hand side. Lola here kicks early. It was actually on fourth that he decided to go for the kick. Now Hero has to clean up. He's inside of his own end goal. He's done well to work his way out, though. Now tries to get back up to his feet. Gives it off into the hands of Jonathan Ford, who now finds the pass off to Olberg. Wrestled a couple more meters backwards. Cook Islands looking to keep this ball, though, nicely early in this fixture, which is actually, it's good to see for this half. In fact, the Cook Islands, even though that first half didn't go their way, they are still looking to attack this game head on. And now looking to use maybe their backline as well. It's going to be fourth tackle. They are only sitting 30 meters out from the line. Slips and Kalfusi manages to finish the tackle there. Now it's fifth and final. They made 26 meters in the process. Kick downfield from Jonathan Ford. Waiting for it to bounce. It's going to be no. Once again, gets a little bit closer towards the halfway line and closer to his hat trick. He's after it in this game, just waiting to get that opportunity. They are saying 52-0 at halftime. It is certainly impressive for a 40-minute game of rugby league. Now the step from Pinnis, he finds the offload there. Andrew Fafita. In fact, sorry, it's David Fafita going through. He's a hard man to stop. He's still breaking through. It's like when you've got that really big kid in the under fives. Under fives probably shouldn't be tackling each other, so we'll go under eights instead, just to be more politically correct. The cutout pass doesn't quite work out. Naiu able to clean it up. Finds the offload there, though. Now running at the line. Tonga once again, another attacking opportunity, which our clubs is leading the try tallies for Tonga. Oh, okay. Pinasini, I know, is an Eels boy. Who else have we had scoring tries? Who does Tessie Naiu play for? I'm not too sure which side he's tied into. And also Jason Tomalolo, he's also got himself the 2 tries in this matchup. Kalfusi's got 1, though. Now the cutout pass just needs to get the step right. Finds the offload on the inside. Pinasini goes off. And Katoa gets another. And that is going to be now Isaiah Katoa. I believe that is his second try of the match, the Cowboy. And as I says, Nate, that is Tomalolo, isn't it? Or is that Naiu as well? Is he also a Cowboy? And good question, says Nazi Williams. Isaiah Katoa, he gets himself the first try of the match for himself. 44 minutes through. Tongans now looking to continue to increase that lead. Passed out wide. It initially didn't work out. Do you reckon Cook Islands catch up? Says Blake. No. No, they won't, unfortunately. I'd like to think that they can score themselves 1 try throughout this game, but we're looking at a possible scoreline of about 90-something points to 4 or 6. Just seems like the way that it could be sitting at the end of this game. One of my lights is flickering. Probably not ideal. It is Halloween. We'll turn that one off, just in case it does decide to blow. And bloody cookies must have got on the piss again before the game, says Nazi Williams. Now, Katoa, he's currently sitting 8 from 9 today off the kicking tee, so very accurate in that regard. He's had plenty of practice, though. Right. Be lining up this kick now, Katoa. Taking his time. There's no rush here. So, theoretically, it took them 5 minutes to score that try. So, from there, you would have to look at it as that's another 7 tries being scored in this half. Relatively close to all of them being converted. You're looking at a possible you're looking at the 100 points if they score 1 try every 5 minutes now from here. And this is F, says Blake there. And also Halloween, says JC there. And there's, oh yeah, I guess I should mention that I did have the Santa suit on earlier on for another live stream, ladies and gentlemen. But the beard was extremely itchy. You know, it's like, it's good on paper. Don't get me wrong. It's also slightly see-through. at the moment. It's a bit too big. So it just looks like I've got very grey chest here. There we go. That was smooth, wasn't it? It is stuck in the headphones. There we go. I have some weird stuff in my house, that is for sure. That little piece of hair is going to really annoy me. It needs to get back where it should be. Or it shouldn't be there. Also, nice, bro. Says Nuzzy Williams. Right, that piece is really not good. There we go. That's better. That's where it wants to be. Now, another big run from Murdoch Masilla. So the kick was successful, 58 points to 0. And I just wonder, do players get fed up hammering teams? Do they enjoy it? Probably depends a little bit. Depends on the home crowd. You know, the Tongan supporters at the moment in this game, they'll certainly be loving it because they get to put on a show for their home supporters. But you do want a challenge. And that's why I think, from what I said about the Cook Islands, they will want the challenge, or they'll want to challenge Tonga so that Tonga can get a little bit better with their defence heading into their next round up against the Samoans. Now it's going to be another big run because there's a chance that we could see Samoa do something similar to this. Maybe not quite to this extent, but we could see Samoa beat France by quite a comfortable margin, unlike us on Rugby League Live 4. Anyone who hasn't seen that video, I highly recommend giving it a look on the channel. We have got about a 30 or 40-minute break in between the next two live streams. So if you want something to watch, I do recommend checking out that one. Cook Islands, though, they've got the ball now. And also Pauline is very happy with the Tongan supporters and also with Tonga's performance in this match. So they will more than likely be moving on to the quarterfinals to face Samoa, which will be a very awesome game. Now a bit of pressure there on Jonathan Ford. Going back, Tonga taken nicely. Katoa now, Sione Katoa, I should mention, rather than the kick taker Isaiah. Now Katoa breaks the tackle, and that's something they've done just too many times throughout this match for the Cook Islands liking. Great run up the middle from Tonga now. It's the number 19, gives it off. It's a nice step. The acceleration is absolutely brilliant from Tessino, and he has got himself the hat trick. The first of the day, and probably not the last. If the Cook Islands won the game, they could have been in the final, says Blake there. And despite the big scores, a seed has been planted just like in rugby. It's good. The more countries are exposed to the game. I give it a few years and they'll be the strongest, or they will be the strongest. Still early stages, says Nuzzy Williams. Exactly right. Like they've got another 4 years till we see the next Rugby League World Cup, or another 3, I guess I should say, seeing as it was postponed initially. But it's a great run up the middle. This is just not what they will be wanting it to happen like for the Cook Islands. And also, we're going to what do you mean by final? And there as well says Pipamele. So the quarterfinal, that will be the next match for Tonga, and that will be next week up against Samoa. And when's the next World Cup? 2025 will be the next match. And also, Vunia said, so good. Thank you for covering the game. No worries at all, mate. We are doing the game between Samoa and France a little bit later on in the day. That is in an hour and 20 minutes that one will be kicking off. And that is going to be a very awesome one as well. And then we have got Papua New Guinea when they play up against Wales. That is the Tuesday morning game. We will be covering that on the channel as well. But currently 49 minutes through. Now, I mentioned they needed a try every 5 minutes. They've been able to once again match that 5 minutes needed. So the 100 is still on here for Tonga if they continue to score the way that they are. Katoa, though, about to line up this kick. Taking the time, taking some deep, solid breaths. Wants to make sure the kicking accuracy is still there. And also we have got there that crap. I thought that it was every year. No, only every 4 years that we do get to see the Rugby League World Cup. Although if you do it kind of similar, I guess you could say every 2 years, because you've got the Rugby Union World Cup, then the Rugby League World Cup 2 years later, similar to what we see for the Olympics and the Commonwealth Games, that kind of setup of every 2 years you get a different rugby competition of some sort. And awesome subscribing, says Vinny. Thank you very much, mate. Hugely appreciated. Will the Cookies even score a try? Says Ed. That's a great question. I hope so, but I don't see it happening at the moment. It just doesn't seem like they've got that hungriness and that aggression needed to try and break through this Tongan defence. And I'm in New Zealand, says Pipi Meli. So a very early start for yourself. Currently sitting 4:42 for us guys in New Zealand is the way that it sits. Only 15 minutes through. Tonga once again Going to have the ball in hand. Sione Katoa hits it up now. It's going to be in the hands of Kalamatangi. Let's carry forward. Driving nicely here for the Tongans. Galfusi moves up to 40 out. See that there is another change made by Tonga. That was actually Amune making his way on the field for Luke. And what would be next year if they're going to be something on? So next year we are going to see the Rugby Union World Cup. So that is going to be in France in October, I believe it is, 2023. And then alongside that, I believe there's also, is it the Winter Olympics? No, we might not quite be at the Winter Olympic stage yet. But I think we've got, well, the FIFA World Cup is this year as well, I should mention. But I think we might almost have a Cricket World Cup for the ODI. Then it will be Samoa versus Tonga. Yeah, it does seem like it is going to be that matchup. But first, of course, like you've mentioned, Samoa need to get themselves the win over France. We are covering that game in an hour and 15 minutes time. It's going to be an entertaining one. Both sides, I'd like to think we have plenty of aggression out on the field, trying their absolute best to get the win. Cook Islands moving up to the halfway line now after 4 tackles. Bit of a shuffle there from the replacement. I believe it was Arona. 40 metres out. They've made 45 metres in that carry for the Cook Islands, which is not too bad at all. Tonga having to wait for it. Nicely taken at the back by Tesi Naiu. Tackled down. A good tackle made by Takarangi. Now back across to the left. 2.5 minutes gone since the last time we saw the Tongans cross the line. 3 weeks off, etc. Are you doing Izzy versus Alex card? Says Nazi Williams. Oh, when is that taking place? Do let me know, Nazi Williams. I've been trying to keep up with the UFC, but I found I've been missing a lot of weeks, unfortunately. But yeah, do let me know when that is taking place. Hopefully we can do an Israel Adesanya fight at some stage. Although I have a bad feeling as soon as we do one of his fights, that will be the one that he loses. The 19th. Okay. We'll see how we're going. Hopefully there is a bit of a gap in the International Rugby Union season. So we can kind of get away with doing a little bit of something on a Sunday. Although I think I've slowly been adapting to the hectic schedule. You know, I've been doing the building during the week. So that has been keeping, I guess, the channel funded for these weekend live streams. Definitely with the fact that my PC is probably about 10 live streams away from blowing up. So I probably have to invest in a new one relatively soon. But alongside that, like, you know, we've done the building during the week. I've been going to the gym, believe it or not, even if I've got live streams later on in the day. So I would have expected to be a lot more tired than I currently am. But we're doing all right at the moment. That's going to be 5th and final again for the Cook Islands after they have made about 33 metres. And is there any rugby league games on the World Cup teams? Says Blake. So they will actually have a few games taking place outside of the International Rugby League World Cup. Like every once in a while, sides will be playing off. So I believe for International Rugby League, it's normally somewhere around, I want to say mid-year or kind of early mid-year. I know that's a week 4 of the Rugby Union International game, says Richard. And there you go, Machine Bro, seriously bloody amazing the way you do this and appreciate it, says Nazi Williams. Hey, I don't think I'd change a thing, other than, of course, my PC not blowing up. That is the one thing I would change at the moment. Other than that, I don't know. It just seems to be, I've got that used to talking for a long period of time and being awake for like, I don't know, 18-hour days, that my body's just kind of gone, this is what we do now. This is how we do it as well. And that's the thing. I haven't mentioned it too much, but there's an even bigger video that is coming up that's going to take over a month to film. So there's quite a bit that's going into it. The budget for the video is insane. The amount of money we are going to be putting into it as well, but should be coming out in a few months' time. We're just going to get all the resources to be able to film it and then also edit it, and it will come out as some sort of series, I believe. What's the difference between Irish, English, and France rugby comp style-wise, says Ed. So I would say France, you're definitely looking at more of a territory game. Ireland, you're looking at that crisp backline movement. And England, you're looking at sides playing a lot more attacking rugby with the running game. I think that's probably not a bad way of describing those three sides. So that was close to the opportunity for Tonga to get themselves another try there, but doesn't quite work out in the end. It was just a bit of a rough pass. And was disappointing end to the move for Tonga. Currently 56 minutes through. It's going to be available once again here for Aero. Now back across Ford. Another good run. Right. I want to see the Cook Islands get themselves a try in this game. I feel like that is very optimistic, but, I feel like if they're going to have one of the highest scoring games ever, they should certainly be able to be involved in the scoring side of things. And Tonga has all the fast players and a lot of strength in there as well. And cheers, Amos says, repent. You're welcome in, mate. Hope you are doing very well currently. Driving forward up to the halfway line now is a Masters. Okay, that's going to be the fifth tackle. They made 31 meters in the process. They're going to be firing it back. By the looks of it, it's going to be Jonathan Ford. Kicks it nice and high. What goes up must come down, and it's going to be nicely taken there. Now back available, Tonga. Oh, big push forward from Nui. Running sideways, the dummy runner almost able to get through. The way it's going in England, you might be looking for the government to save rugby in England, says Richard. And Tongan's Ferrari up there, says Nate. And there's, see, that's the thing. Who do you pick as the Ferrari on the field? They're all wearing red, and now it's going to be Daniel Tupou in a foot race. Ball beautifully passed across. This is going to be another try for Tonga, I believe, or is it? Great tackle, mate. That is class from the Cook Islands. And now, Lolo here's going to score it just to ruin it for them. But what an effort from the Cook Islands defender to be able to run back that far and still make the tackle. Lolo here, he just completely ruined it for him, though. He went on the short side, scored the try anyway. But the effort made by the Cook Islands there should not go unrecognised. And not too optimistic. There are a few NRL players who could possibly cross the line, says Nazi Williams. That's a great run forward from Daniel Tupou. And it was the pass that was beautiful. This foot race, though, I believe it was Pia Kura who was able to just stop him, scragged him by the jersey, got him down, and then Lolo here went short side, scored the try. And now 68 points on the board for Tonga, but they're starting to drift behind in terms of the points per minute that they require to be able to get themselves an all-time record for the points margin. Yeah, Lolo here has done very nice. Well, that one, it was almost the try in the end for the number 6, Amuni. But yeah, just ripped down by Peakura. Close. And also, it's over the Cook Islands. It is indeed. Unfortunately, they will be heading home after this game. No more matches for the Cook Islands in this Rugby League World Cup. But they've had some good ones along the way. They beat Wales. They had a decent game up against Papua New Guinea. Katoa's having a brilliant game off the kicking tee. 10 from 11 he has been able to get for himself so far. Another deep breath taken. And was Greece 94 points against Ozright, says Nazi Williams. That is true. It was 94 points to 4. So the margin was 90. The most points in the game was 98. That kick is missed. So Cook Islands, they need another 31 points in this game to have most points in a game. Cook Islands really aren't helping them out in terms of the scoring, though. New Zealand versus the Cook Islands, they actually got 94 points combined. That was in 2000 that took place. So some of the games of this Rugby League World Cup have been more one-sided than we have ever seen in a rugby league for a long time anyway. Now, 60 minutes in, the Cook Islands will be kicking it off. But Lolo here, he has got himself the 2 tries. We've seen 1 hat trick so far. It was from Nui. Can we see another for the Tongans? Tomalolo, though, has a nice carry forward. And like I mentioned earlier on, they will be ecstatic that he is back there now. And fashionable, my guy, says Nate there. Now going off to the short side. Once again. Kalfusi. Waiting for this ball. He was stuck underneath the breakdown for a little bit there, Kalfusi. Now it's gone through the legs. Oh, and it's going to go beautifully for Lolo here. Unfortunately, the mistake actually led to the line break. Lolo here, ball on the inside. It's going to be the try. It's stolen. Stolen there by Pinasini. He has stolen it of Murdoch Marcella. He was on the inside, the big man, and he decided instead that Pinasini would take it. Okay, yes, Samuel France on BBC 2 England At last, says Richard, and Lola here is everywhere right. They want to check this one here. But like they've said, Pinasini has stolen that try off the big man, Murdoch Masilla. And it looked like they were having a bit of a joke about it, but that will hurt the big man's feelings. You don't want to hurt a big man's feeling. Samoa and France going to be a bad game, says Blake in there. Is it because you think it's going to be too one-sided, or you think it's going to be a close game, Blake? Do let me know. So I think it's going to be a high-scoring one, I do hope. It's lost backwards, picked up by Lola here. I think this try is going to stand unless this is a forward pass. But yeah, it was available for the big man and then stolen by Pinasini. He saw the opportunity to take it off of Murdoch Masilla. And I was like, yeah, going to be 100+ Samoa, says Blake. And there's also, yeah, could be a high-scoring one to watch, to be fair. Now the referees, they just have to wait for it to come up on the board saying that it was a try, which we all expect it to be. And 1, 2, 3, 4, it's a try. There you go. 72 points now on the board for the Tongans. But Pinasini, like they're saying, it's a travesty that he was able to steal that try off the big man. 26 points to go till the 100, says Nate. And there as well. Commentators have described it as someone stealing your parking space that you're about to reverse into. The way that Pinasini ran up there, took it off the big man. It was rough, that is for sure. And good play that Lola here. Disappointing when the Warriors flicked him off, says Nazi Williams. Looks like Pinasili, he was having a big laugh. He's getting a thumbs up as well. 74-0 now in this contest. No chance whoever wins it will only win by 10 points, says Richard, and 26 points to go till the 100. Yeah, and they are still continuing to build. And also we have got there, what do you mean he took it off him, says Blake in there. Yeah, he did end up running it hard. Pinasini managed to get that ball rather than Murdoch Masilla. I think that's what the commentators were talking about in that one as well. It is going to be the kicking tee from halfway for the Cook Islands. They have felt this kicking tee way too many times. And Lola here playing SL, Super League, sorry. For which club, you know, boss? Not too sure. Sorry, no, he wasn't getting enough game time, says Nazi Williams. So Nazi Williams might know where they offloaded him to. Do you know, Nazi? Do let us know. But now Tonga once again are going to have this ball in hand. They have got a total of 18 minutes left on the clock here. And I was up the Roosters, says Blake in there. I can get behind that. I do enjoy watching James Tedesco play. He's had a very good competition in the NRL recently. In fact, he's had a very good few years in the NRL, hasn't he? France are better than people think, says Richard English. Yeah, that's the thing. England have just been dominating this competition. And I think it's why a lot of people feel that no matter what, every other side are going to be struggling up against the English. But, you know, we're going to get to see England play Papua New Guinea. That's an intriguing one. Although England theoretically should be able to win that one by a bit of a margin. Australia-Lebanon could be an interesting game, but I think Australia will take it as well relatively comfortably. Now going back across to the short side, 49 metres through. It's going to be kicked in behind. Oh, that player's going to be knocked out. Unfortunately, Ero has just smacked a man in the head. Or has he got up? I think he might have. They've actually ripped it back as well. Pinasini's taken it back for the Tongans. They're only 5 metres out now. Right, I'd love to see a try for Murdoch Masilla just because he missed out on it last time. And also, I don't want to Google to cheat, says Nazi Williams. Sean Johnson hogging the spot. Little here went later, boy, says Nate. Now another big run from Tonga. Only 3 metres. In fact, probably closer to the 1 metre out. Now, no chance Australia will hammer England. England played no one yet, says Richard in there. Now the wide cut-out pass. Daniel Tupou with the step on the inside. Silky feet and silky skills. And Daniel Tupou, has he scored the try? He sure has, and that will make the score just a little bit further in favour of the Tongans. Thoughts on Roosters signing? Who have they signed, Blake? Do let me know. I don't actually know exactly who has been signed for all of the sides this year as of yet. So, yeah, do let me know who they have picked up. And I will let you know. But currently 64 minutes through. Daniel Tupou gets his second try of the match. There are about 3 or 4 players all searching for their hat tricks now. Daniel Tupou He is certainly one of them. With 15 minutes left on the clock, still enough time to possibly be able to get us. Pretty much anyone wondering why I have a massive cup, I just decided I'd find the biggest one in the cupboard, and that would be the one that I filled with water. I felt like I was going to be a very thirsty boy throughout this live stream, and I was correct. It was a smart move getting the water. I feel like my voice will certainly be thanking me. Currently 65 minutes through, 78-0. Roosters Daniel Tupou extends their leads, says Nate there. Yeah, Daniel Tupou, he has been very dangerous in the NRL, and also now looking extremely good for the Tongans. And go Tonga. And then what time's the next game, Hamish? It is going to be a 6 a.m. kickoff, Nazi Williams. So 1 hour time. It's going to be the matchup taking place between Samoa and France. So whether or not you're still awake, we will have to wait and see. Hopefully you are. We will get to see another very good game of rugby league. It doesn't feel like it's 5 a.m. at the moment. I don't know why. I don't know whether it's because I did go to a Halloween party earlier on in the evening. So I feel like I've kind of slept since then, but I haven't. Don't know. Feels weird. But that's now 80 points to 0. Jake Turpin, Jackson Polo, and more, can't name them. Or Jackson Polo. He's the big man from the Eels, isn't he? Jackson Polo, is he the one who I'm thinking of? The man with the massive chest that goes out to like here? Because if that is the case, he did all right during the regular season, but when it came to finals footy, he really disappeared, didn't he? And I wasn't where you were abouts in the world. I am from New Zealand. So yeah, currently 5 a.m. for ourselves here. Noob shouting. Says Nazi Williams, Roosters got no salary cap. We all know that. Says Nazi Williams, and oh my goodness, poor Cook Islands, Tonga ruthless. Yeah, they have been so far throughout this game, and they have still got time left on the clock, although Cook Islands have now got the ball. So they may get a bit of an attack going from 30 metres out from the line. Nice bit of a run for there from Tetevano. And Maori grabs the whole fridge closer to Pakia, biggest cup in the house, says Nazi Williams. Oh, sorry, that was actually Nate. And also we have got their rabbits, says Blake. Cook Islands, though, now they've got themselves one last phase going in behind Cole Fusi. Has been tackled and almost cleaned back up into the in-goal area. It's going to be a goal line dropout now for the Tongas. He played for the Rabbits. And there says Blake. Who am I thinking of? Oh, I'm thinking of Junior Polo. Sorry, my apologies. The wrong Polo. Okay, so I don't know too much about those two players that you have mentioned. I probably should, but my NRL knowledge is really lacking. I was like watching every game a few years ago, and then from there, I kind of forgot everything when I went over to rugby union because we've remembered so many rugby union players. Like, it's pretty much incredible the amount of names that go around in my head each weekend. Jackson from the Souths on the wing. Are you talking about Parramatta? Samoa's Polo prop, says Nazi Williams. Yeah, Junior Polo. Playing a little bit later on. And what team you go for in the NRL? I would say, I should say the Warriors because I'm from New Zealand, but if I had to pick an Australian side, I probably would go, believe it or not, the Roosters, just because I do enjoy watching James Tedesco play that much that I almost would say that they're my team because of that. And now going back across. Going to be nice work from the Cook Islands. This is their chance up to fourth tackle now. 5 meters out from the line. Penalty goes to the Cook Islands. So they're going to have a little bit more time with the ball in their hands. Tonga, they're still looking to create history here. Get one of the biggest wins in rugby league history. The biggest winning margins we have seen so far. New Zealand, they were able to beat the Cook Islands by 74 points. That was in 2000. 80-point difference between Australia and South Africa. That was in 1995. The moment the 80-point difference between Tonga and the Cook Islands. So this would be the tied fourth biggest winning margin in history. Most points in the game currently, they aren't in the top 4. Now Cook Islands, though, they are trying to add to those points down the wing. He's got it down, I think. I think the Cook Islands have finally broken through. I think it's Masters who might have been able to get the try. He might have hurt himself in the process, though, Stephen Masters. And try for Cook Islands, maybe. It's 3 a.m. where I am, says Blake. So I assume you're in Australia, if that is the case. And by the way, Australia Rugby Union side, after winning yesterday, moved to 6th in the world rankings, replacing Scotland, says Richard there. So the video referee is going to have to get involved in this one to see whether or not there was the try for the Cook Islands. Right, so Masters was going down the wing. Still in. Oh, okay, the ball has been grounded. But the big question is whether or not he has got his arm on the line. Oh, the ball is grounded, then the arm hits the ground. I think this is going to be awarded as a try for the Cook Islands. So that actually helps them towards the highest scoring game ever. And okay, to be optimistic. And there says Nazi Williams there. And also catch up, baby, says Blake. And there as well. So they are going to go 1, 2, 3, 4. It's a try for the Cook Islands. They've done it. They've got over the line finally in this contest. So my guess originally when someone asked about it, I said that there's a chance that it's going to be 80-something to 4 or 6. That was at about halftime, wasn't it? And also Morning Amos just got up. Says, Spider-Meek, welcome in, mate. Hope you are doing very well. Are you going to be joining us for the matchup between Samoa and France in an hour's time? Do let me know. Catch up time. Come on, Cook Islands. Says Blake there and also try for the Cook Islands. Says Nate there as well. But it's great strength down the wing from Stephen Masters. I look very red at the moment. I haven't been out in the sun, though. And also we have got there, deserves a Cook lager in there as well, says Nazi Williams. Lining up the kick. It's going to be shanked away to the side. So the score going to be 80 points to 4 now with 10 minutes left. Oh, he's hurt himself. He's hurt himself trying to take the kick. That is the worst time to hurt yourself. And brilliant, well done. Let's go MMT, says a cha-cha there. So I guess question cha-cha. When you see them matching up in the quarterfinal up against Samoa, how do you see them going? Do let me know. What's your score prediction for that matchup? Sorry, I'll be working start 7 to 9 p.m. now, or is it all Spider-Meek? Hopefully you do enjoy the game of work. The game of work? Enjoy your day at work. That's what I was trying to say. And what time did the game start? This game started at 3:30 a.m. And it will be finished at around that 5:20 mark, I would say. Definitely if we have one more TMO decision somewhere along the way. But currently the Cook Islands, they are once again in possession, going to be fired across from Arona. Now one more. Cook Islands starting to find a bit of momentum here. It's just a shame that they waited until they were 80 points down to do so. Now, after the side, number 15, it is Arona once again, but a different Arona to what we have for Australia, says Blake. So the game would have started at 1:30 a.m. for Australia. Now kicking it high for the Cook Islands. What goes up must come down, and it looks like no one really wanted to claim it. I believe it was actually Jonathan Ford who allowed it to bounce, and it's going back now. And also, what time did they start? Australia time. So, yeah, around that 1:30 a.m. mark, somewhere around there. Oh, we've heard about a quadruple blow of the whistle here from the referee. Captain's challenge. They're trying to check this. I'm not too sure who has actually captain's challenged it at this point. And anyone that's been or that ain't been to the Cook Islands, if you ever get a chance, sit on the Muri Beach on the sand and look at the lagoon or the cold beverage. Amazing, says Nazi Williams. Yeah, that would be absolutely incredible. One day, I would love to be able to go to a few of the Pacific Islands, to be fair. Love to go to Rarotonga. Love to be able to go to Fiji. Also, I mean, Samoa and Tonga also, another option. In the future, the knock on. And who's the current wheelchair champion? Not too sure who is current wheelchair champion, but I know the wheelchair side of things fires up on Friday. I believe it is. I think this captain's challenge is just wasting time, to be honest. Doesn't seem like there's too much happening there. Although, actually, no, I think about it. I think someone captain's challenged it because it was a bad call. So maybe that's why. A knock on for who? I think they're trying to say there might have been a knock on for Tonga in this one. And also the knock on, says Nate. So, yeah, they are. We're looking at this quite a few times. Slap back by Benesini. Okay, Timo asking for the different angles. See if there's anything else. Nah, that's not a knock on. I think that looked like it was still stuck to his hand. Oh, no. The challenge is inconclusive. There you go. And is this a mismatch? I would say so. But theoretically, from what we've seen from the Cook Islands in their other games, you'd have to say also kind of no. These are the way that these games have been going, although France versus Tonga was actually before the Rugby League World Cup started compared to this one. And also they had their game last week up against Wales where they won it by about 30 points. So like Cook Islands, they did well against Wales. Papua New Guinea, as you can see there, 6 points difference in this game compared to the 16 points difference. That's not maths, or is it? Yeah, it is. 16 points difference between the sides in that one. So mismatched to an extent, but I still think the Cook Islands would have loved to do a lot better than they have done, although they're still going to have another attack here. Going to be now Masters once again having another carry. There at the line now, going back across to the left-hand side here. Big shot. Throwing backwards. It's going to be held. Second tackle now with them only sitting about 20 metres out from the line now. A nice short ball. It was forward though. No, they would have been after. A little bit of a push and a shove there from Whenua Blake. I think it was just more of the case of both men wanted to walk in the same blade of grass area. And they had to they didn't give way, I think is the best way of describing it. Now Tonga. Starting to look a little bit slower here now. That's probably fair enough. They've done a lot of running because they have had to run to the try line about 15 times throughout this matchup. And right time at the capital of the Cook Islands, it's where Mary Beach is. Oh, the woman, mate, says Nazi Williams there. Wait, as in the woman at the beach, or as in the woman as in that I should take my lady friend? Geez, that would get me in the good books, wouldn't it? Now 7 minutes left. And Nazi will suss it out next year, going to a wedding in the Cook Islands. Says it was Nate there as well. I apologise for not reading that one, Nazi. I didn't actually see it initially. I did read Spider Mix first, didn't I? Tomalolo now goes off. And also, who's your lucky Nate? Have fun, mate. Says Nazi Williams. Good driving tackle backwards there once again. I believe that was Futawaka with the carry. Now Jason Tomalolo. He hasn't got himself the hat trick as of yet. He got 2 tries early in the first half. Now is still looking for his third, getting extra post-contact meters though. Katoa goes off to the side. This is going to be fifth and final. Great quicksands. Pinasini thought he had the chance. He goes himself, gets himself the hat trick. Pinasini, brilliant work from the number 4 for the Eels. And he is going to add some more points on the board. Now we move up to 88 points in this matchup. So I was mentioning about the records. Most points in a game. We have seen a 92-point game between Australia and South Africa. That was in 1995. That was the 4th largest scoring game. Now, the biggest win, the margin is 74 points. That was for the 5th biggest win. That was for New Zealand. So currently Tonga looking to try and be a little bit higher than that on the record books. It's just great work from Pinasini. He found the gap, coming close to the 94. Says Nazi Williams there. Yeah, if they do get a combined 94 points on the board, that would be beating New Zealand and Cook Islands score. Unfortunately, Cook Islands is involved in quite a few of these ones, just not on the right side of them. Tonga making it 88 points. Still a little bit more time on the clock, though. Still plenty of time. If it says 79, it is lying. It wants the game to end early. But we do not. We want to see a little bit more in this matchup between the two sides. I've got to feel that 100 is looming, says Spider-Mick. And if they were able to get themselves a win, 100 points to 4, it would be the second largest win in history, above of England, who recently got one for the Rugby League World Cup. And also most points in a game, that would put them above England, who were able to get themselves the 94, and Greece getting the 4 points. This kick would be a good one to get over, I think, is the summary of what I've just said. 75.5. There is a man dressed as Santa in the crowd I have seen, and it's a better Santa suit than I have got. That is for sure. But the kick now from Katoa brings it around, and it's gone over. Right, we have seen 90 points combined in this game. So most points in the game. If we get another try converted, that will be the third highest in history. If we see another try unsuccessfully converted, it will be the second highest in history. Or sorry, the third equal highest in history. And the biggest wins at the moment, the difference between these two sides is 82. So that is currently the fourth biggest winning margin in international rugby league history. And there's still another 3.5 minutes left. Tonga try and take it nicely, and they do just that. They did go with the short kickoff there from the Cook Islands. Katoa trying to break his way through, just continuing to go through this Cook Islands defense. It's ruthless from Tonga. They are not giving up. They still think they've got one or two more tries in them. Now going back across to the side, it's going to be Big David Fafita. Another 7, another 8, another 9 meters gained by David Fafita. Going off to the left-hand side. Okay, they are actually saying they give Tomalolo the man of the match performance from returning for this matchup. Like they've said, he's returned and they've looked at best. Fusi going through, passes off. It's another one for Tonga. And now it's going to be the try for Amone, sorry. That is another one. So that now makes 94 points. And the kick's nice and easy. This is going to be the third highest combined points in a game we have ever seen at international rugby level. And we are still going. There's a chance we may see them overtake England's performance up against the Greeks. And also Amone, says Nate, in there as well. Great flat run, though, from Kalfusi. Made his way through, pass on the inside. And Amone in support. It was always going to be tough to try and stop. Tonga, beautifully done. Still 2 minutes left on the clock as well here. And also, Cookies' heaviest defeat came from the Kiwis. Or the Cookies' heaviest defeat came from the Kiwis. Tonga surpassed that, says Stone Cold. They certainly did. The Kiwis were able to beat them by 74 points back in 2000. 84 points to 10. Now we have seen 90 to 4 in this one. So the biggest winning margin at the moment, this is going to put it to 88. So this is the third biggest. If they get themselves one more try, they will actually overtake England in both the most points in a game. And also alongside that, they will overtake England in the biggest wins in history. And 98 points final score. Did they score, says Blake? They certainly did. So currently 96 points combined. Question is, can they get themselves one more try in the final minute of this contest? It's kicked off long from the Cook Islands. In a game that has gone anything but the way they would have anticipated it. Stolen. The Cook Islands are going to score the try. Now, the thing is, it's interesting, that try, because the Cook Islands here, without even knowing it, have just made history. Most points in a game that is going to be overtaken, and a little bit of a celebration from the Cook Islands as well. They are still happy enough to be able to get one of a nice try and dance off. Says Nate there. That is going to be the try. So now the Cook Islands, they will actually move themselves up onto 8 points, 100-point fixture, second highest in ever in a game. And that's actually going to knock down that points differential a little bit for the Tongans as well. And also we get the yes, says Blake. So currently points differential in terms of the winning margin, they are sitting with an 84 difference. So they tie with Australia and Scotland. But then with this conversion going over, it's actually going to put them down to 4th overall. Lurking for that ball, Takairangi. And then he's well and truly celebrated for his teammate who was able to get it down and break. Or Brad, Takairangi intercepted, says Nate. Right. This kick should go over. And it's going to make the score 92 points to 10 at the end of this fixture. So what that means is an 102-point game, second most points in a game of rugby league in history. They have ticked that one off. And it is also with the points differential of 82. It is the 4th largest winning margin in history for any side at international level as well for rugby league. So a brilliant performance from Tonga. Absolutely brilliantly done. And now we just wait for the next game to take place, which is going to be kicking off in about 45 minutes' time, ladies and gentlemen. That will be the game taking place between Samoa and France. But we will be covering that on the channel. Thank you all very much for tuning in. If you did enjoy, be sure to leave a like and subscribe to the channel. If you want something to watch while you are waiting for the next match to take place, I will quickly go like this. I will go like this as well. One moment. We will actually... There we go. We're going to get the link for the video that me and I would like you guys to predict in the comments what the score you think is going to be in Samoa versus France. So this is our gameplay that we played along with the game of Rugby League Live 4. On that one, we had a couple rough performances, but be sure to check it out. And yeah, be sure to comment. What's your score prediction for Samoa versus France in the real life fixture when it does take place in 45 minutes time, where we will be back and we will be ready for another game of rugby league. But thank you all very much for tuning in. If you did enjoy, be sure to leave a like and subscribe to the channel, and I will see you all for the next one.